What's going on, guys? Ryan with Jedha Patrol, back with another video. Star Wars week. It's here. It's awesome. We've got a scout and a speeder bike from the Mandalorian. I think we should open it up. That's right, guys. Welcome back to another video. If you haven't already subscribed, what the heck you waiting on, guys? Got awesome Star Wars week going on here. We've got Hot Toys. We've got some diorama stuff. We've got some statues. We got some other things, which I can't really tell you about just yet. So, yeah. So here we go, guys. Long anticipated Hot Toys Scout and Speeder Bike. And look, this box is freaking huge. It is literally, no joke, it is literally like the size of three, like 6 scale regular boxes, like side by side. It's quite ridiculous. So when this thing came over from Pop Collectibles, by the way, shout out to them. Thank you for the fast shipping on this bad boy. If you want one of these for yourself and you don't want to wait on Sideshow and all the other places to get theirs, check out Pop Collectibles, link down below. This right here, as you know, I've got my Sideshow bike up there. I've had it for a while, and that thing is so difficult to mess with. I'm kind of anxious to check this thing out. So let's go ahead and just get into this thing. Might be a very, very long video. So hope you got some popcorn or snacks or drinks or whatever it is you want. So here we go. Let's go ahead and just rotate this bad boy around. And yeah, check that out. What this thing is awesome. We've got our orange band, which you're used to seeing for the Mandalorian series. This is TMS 017 for anybody who's curious. We've got a photo of the actual scout and our little Grogu down here on the bike. And the back is what the back is. Let's just go ahead and open this thing up. This is gonna be it's gonna be fun. So let's go ahead and if I can get this box out of here. Let's go. And oh, there we go. Oh yeah, check out that box insert. That is a fantastic photo. Now, if you are wondering, I do have a second one of these coming, so I can kind of do something like this. So I've got a second one coming from Collector's Own. I'm probably going to pick up an individual scout to go along with the whole diorama set, so we'll see how that plays out. But there's our box insert, which is amazing. That's display worthy right there. Like, I don't get caught up on these things too much, but that right there is display worthy, and may even make an appearance in the collection room. So there's that. And then we've got, look at this. That's nice. Sorry for the glare there on the plastic there, but there we go. We've got a scout. We got a whole pile of hands. We got a Grogu. We got a satchel. We got a nice little Star Wars logo going on the plastic. That's kind of nice. We haven't seen that before. I guess they haven't really had that kind of real estate to do that, but that looks pretty freaking sweet. So let's go ahead. I imagine we're gonna have lots of trays. The bike is underneath. So there's one tray. We'll get you out of here. All right, we've got, the bike. Look at that. And the plastic. Woo. Diorama base. Got one tray. Is there one more? Nope, that's it. Okay. All right, so let's get this box out of here. If you're wondering what's on the other side of the box, the answer is nothing. So there's that. I'm gonna run out of room with all these giant boxes. I also have another, as that falls over, I actually have another video coming out with the Sideshow Han Solo and Carbonite. So that's coming very soon, probably tomorrow's video, the next day. I can't remember what order I put them in, but yeah, pretty excited about that. So we'll take a look at the bike here in a second, but that's pretty glorious. We're gonna put him over here for just 2 seconds and take a look at the figure and get this thing out of here. So if you guys are hyped about this, let me know. I'm absolutely, you guys know I'm all about the Mando, and I'm all about troopers. I collect piles and piles of stormtroopers. So anytime I get my hands on more of them, that's always a good thing. This is nice. That would be cool if it was like a pop out like display type of piece, but it's literally just it's just like embossed on the plastic. So there's that. All right, let's see. We've got a figure. Let's get you that weathering. That's gorgeous. Look at that. That's awesome. We got a Grogu, which everybody's complaining about. How many Grogus do we need? The answer is as many as they will give us. That is the correct response, I think. A satchel, which looks awesome, and a bunch of hands. So let's just get all this stuff out of here. And while I'm doing this, how many of these, or if any, how many of these guys did you order? Are you going to get one bike for display purposes and for space purposes, because they do take up a lot of room? Are you going to get one Scout. I mean, what are your thoughts on this? Just have you already pre-ordered? I guess is my question as I try to fight these little hands out of this plastic. Come here, you. There we go. All right, we got some extra pegs there. We don't need those right now. At least I hope not, so we don't break anything. We got some hands. We got a Grogu. We got hands. We got, oh, this thing again. Satchel, and we got a bunch of plastic. This is going to be sweet. Is that going to come off easy? Oh, look at that. We don't have to fight with tape and everything. What? Usually I have to fight with the tape to get all this plastic crap off these figures. First impressions are that is quite a good looking figure. I liked it. And the weight and the way this feels. I also have the Sideshow Scout, which we'll bring it here in just a second. It feels like a Hot Toy figure versus a Sideshow figure. I'll put it that way. The Sideshow one is quite good for what it is, but this one definitely feels more, I don't know, quality, sturdy. It feels newer. Let's put it that way. We've got some other plastic bits in here. I didn't even notice, but there's that. And there's more plastic on the wrist, but that's just kind of the norm with Hot Toy figures versus Sideshow figures, right? It's just kind of is what it is. So let's get all these extra plastic bits off this hand and kind of go from there. You get out of here. But let's take a look at this head sculpt real quick. Look at this. The weathering, the tan, that looks quite good. That looks, I mean, I like weathered figures way better than more clean figures. I just think it gives some more realism to the 6 scale line. But you can see all the sand going on here, the sand art, weathering going on here, his back. Oh, look at that. That's sweet. I like that. And everything about this, like these are nice little sand tan color, and it just looks fantastic. I think we've got, let's see, this piece right here. I hate these things. They fall off all the time. So, you know, we'll see. This just kind of goes, literally, if you're unfamiliar, is a little clip. They clip on the belt, and anytime you move it around, it's going to fall off, and that's going to suck. But I guess we can take a look at it while we have it. But there it is. Look at that. Pretty cool. It almost looks like these are bendable, like metal or wire or whatever, but they're certainly not. But this right here, I really do quite like this. And my first notice, just first impressions, this boot's way different than Sideshow boots. Sideshow boots are hard plastic; they're formed. This is like a what's like a windsuit or a wind jacket, a windbreaker, whatever the hell you want to call these things. This is more like that windbreaker material. Look at that. That's awesome. Look at the amount of range of motion for that. To be able to do that and put them on the bike and not have to switch out the boots is awesome, because the Sideshow ones, like the peg's way down on the bottom and you have to fight with it to get it pegged in. It's kind of a pain. But that's a pretty nice feature. I really do quite like that. What are your guys' first thoughts on this? I'm pretty happy with it, actually. So yeah, look at this. Weathering going on there, weathering on the chest. The diaper definitely looks a lot different from the promo photos, and I'm totally cool with that. The black cargo pant is pretty much that. It's just a black cargo pant. There's no weathering going on any of that. I don't think those are supposed to come open, so we're not going to mess with that. But yeah, it's pretty much all the white has been weathered, and the black is just a solid black, which is kind of nice. The armor is held on by elastic bands, so you can move those around wherever you want, which is nice, and they're not attached to anything. Even that plate, the elbow, and even the forearm gauntlet here is actually held on by elastic bands. And that is, I like it. Well, can you bend it? Let's see here. What can I do? Oh, yeah. Look at that. That's nice. That's nice. Double bend elbow. See right there, double bend elbow. No issues with that. I'm not expecting, there's definitely padding. You can feel the padding going on underneath this fabric. So I'm not expecting a whole lot of ab crunch. It would be nice if we could get some, but yeah, not a whole lot of ab crunch going on there, which is kind of a bummer for him posing on the bike. I don't know. Can we get some rotation out of this thing? Let's see what we can do. Come on. It's not terrible rotation, but it's certainly not. The Sideshow one, I think, has got a little bit more. Double bend knee, we got that going on. And then we already looked at these boots. The boots are fantastic. If you're curious what's on the bottom of the boots, there you go. That's what's on the bottom of the boots. I'm wondering, like, why his black pants and stuff aren't weathered at all versus like all the other white stuff going on. It's kind of weird. But the portrait, like I love the little symbols they've got going on the side. I think they absolutely nailed that. I think they did a really, really good job there. So hands wise, if you're curious, which you probably are, we've got these like open hands right here. Nothing, right and left version of that. Looks like we've got a right and left fist, which we know what these are for. We know why we have these included. We gotta punch a Grogu. Let's see here. We've got a right and left blaster hands. And then we've got a grasping hand to hold on to the bike. So that's I wonder why they didn't come with 2 of these. Or did it? No, it did. Okay, that's 2 blaster hands. Oh, hell, that's weird. Why is it like that? All right, so that's going to be... All right, so this is our we only have 1 blaster hand. Oh, that's weird. Okay, we have 1 blaster hand, a right hand, because he's right-handed, and these 2 are for the control arms on the bike. So that's that. The blaster itself is not as good as the Sideshow one. This one's just solid black. There is no weathering going on whatsoever with this. It is just a solid black piece. In fact, I've got the Sideshow one right here. And yeah, you can see the Sideshow one over here's got some weathering going on with it. This one's a little larger. Actually, it's pretty much a good bit. And here's the Sideshow one has stippling on the grip there, and the Hot Toys one. Did Sideshow actually do a better job on the blaster? I think they may have. I think Sideshow did a better job on the blaster. Interesting. Huh. Interesting. Okay, we'll put you back over there for a second. We do have a Grogu. For those who are interested. Yes, we need another Grogu. This one's definitely got a friendly face going on here. Have we got any movement on the hands or anything? No, he doesn't move. That's pretty much it. So pretty much a ball joint on the head. Yeah, make him look up and down, whatever you want to do. I like that one quite a bit. Now, I do have this guy. I can break this out here. And I have his, before anybody says, I have his other knee pieces actually in the other room. You might not even notice, but I did. So scale-wise... Like, look at these 2 side by side. I don't know that one's better than the other. You can see this is obviously going to be a lot more weathered, desert, that kind of area. This one's obviously Return of the Jedi. They both look great. I think there's a case to be made for owning both. You can see there's a difference in the sculpt. This one has a longer face than this one, and that's based on the film, so that makes sense. But I think there's a case to be said for owning both. This is not a bad figure. It's an older figure. The body is definitely looser. I mean, you can, but to put it on a bike, that kind of makes sense. And then here's our boots here in this one, which is a hard plastic. So there's the case to be made for owning both. Again, there's the piece that's always falling off. I took that off and threw it in the storage. If I had to get one or the other, it's got to go with what film you like better. Like, do you like the Mandalorian show or do you like Return of the Jedi? It kind of goes with that. I think this one's got better shelf presence just because of the weathering, but that's personal preference. This one right here is no slouch. This is not a bad figure. It's an older figure. It's a looser body. It's got, pros and cons, but yeah, you guys can let me know which one you prefer, but I'm glad I got both. So there's that. So let's put you to the side for a second and we'll take a look at this satchel real quick. So here it is. We've got this. We can open this up. At least it says that on the promo photos. How do you open it? I don't know. If I've got to undo these buckles, I hate doing that. I hate messing with buckles on 6 scale figures because you always have to fight with them to get them back in. So I'm going to have to melt. Oh, that's really annoying. All right, well, we'll do that. I'm just not going to do it just yet. I'll have to undo that strap to get our child in there. But it's pretty nice. Like, it's a satchel. I don't know if there's really anything to write home about. I know everybody wanted one, so we've got one. All right, let's go ahead and get in this bike. Let me get you out here, all you hands, and you guys go over there. Now, I do have obviously the Hot Toys one. We're going to take a look at it. I've got the Sideshow one. I also have the Power of the Force Hasbro bike. So we're going to take a look at all 3 of those and we'll kind of see what's what. But this is how it's going to come. So let's open her up. This is pretty excited about this. Gotta be honest with you guys. All right, this is one of those, like, there was no way I was going to be waiting on Sideshow to get their stock for this. It just, I couldn't do it. All right, so I can tell you right off the bat that the Sideshow box was considerably smaller for the bike, and it came in pieces. You literally had to build the thing, and that was not a fun experience. So I'm glad that this is pretty much just one piece. We got some control arms, and that's it. So I'm happy about that. We do have our display base, which is nice. I dig that. Got some weight to it. Got some size to it, so we can actually display it and not worry about it falling over or whatnot. But I think that's a pretty nice display base. Kind of dig that. We've got that one. Here's the one for our actual Scout, which I like. I like it that it's not the normal sand color. It's the exact same base, just painted differently. But there it is, our metal plate right there. And yeah, I like that. Even though the footprint thing, you know my thoughts on that. But there's that. What else we got? We got a dynamic stand for our bike. We've got a crotch grabber for our Scout. We'll put those over there. We've got some control arms. So come here, you. And looks like we've got some, what the heck are you? Magnets? Magnets. Interesting. Ah, for the feet. Yes. All right, it's for the feet. All right. We'll deal with that in a second. Yeah, awesome. All right, so there we go. Dude. All right, a piece of foam. You get out of here. Is that it? Like, I don't have to build it and put it together? What? Epic. All right, you get out of here. Man, I've got so many plastic pieces here. This is crazy. All right, there we go. Dude, that's awesome. All right, so these guys right here come separate. These are little magnets that actually go into the foot pegs there. That is awesome. That is awesome. All right, so is there a right and a left? Does it freaking matter? I don't guess. It probably doesn't matter. All right, so yeah, those magnets actually go here. There is a right and a left, and they're a little fiddly to try to work around. They actually plug in from underneath. So don't try and they plug in from underneath, but you got to work around these little cables. So be careful, but there is a right and left, and you want to make sure you have them on the right side. So there's that. Then we've got, looks like we got, oh, this is cool. Check this out. Got a little blaster can here that, let's see here. Oh, we can rotate it. Look at that. We can literally rotate this guy. That is awesome. And it drops down. Look at this. It slides down. That is awesome. Look at that paint app though. That is freaking gorgeous. I mean, I haven't even put the control arms on it yet. I guess I should go ahead and do that. But I'm just enjoying like the fact it feels like it's not gonna break is so nice. It is so nice that it feels that it's not gonna break. This Sideshow one, literally, it just, you feel like when you pick it up, it's just gonna fall apart. It's gonna disintegrate. And this doesn't feel that way at all. So, and in addition to that, the Sideshow one, you actually have to add all these little control arms, and those suck. Absolutely. Look at these things. All right, so taking a look at everything here, I've got the arms on, and you can see that it just works. It just works. So this hose right here actually goes all the way in, and there's plenty of hose, so you don't have to worry about it coming out. So that's nice. You've got this piston action here. You can get that slid in, and then you got the control arms that rotate, you know, however you want them to rotate. So we got some nice range of motion going on there. The paint apps on the actual control arms look fantastic. I don't think there's any issues with there. This is just hard plastic. They could have done something nice with that, but I mean, that's okay. And then we've got these nice little rivets here underneath. Oh, on the back, sorry there. Look at this. We got our ailerons back here, flaps. Look at that. Look at that detail. Those paint apps are so good. Absolutely so good. And really, really happy about that. Then down the bottom, we've got some nice weathering going on here. This actually rotates, which is nice because on the Sideshow when it doesn't, it's literally on one piece of plastic and you're gonna break it. If there's no way you could do this with the Sideshow one. That ain't freaking happening. Just everything about this looks way, way better as far as quality goes. I mean, the Sideshow one's not bad. It's just this one doesn't feel like you're gonna break it. And that is a huge, huge thing. So I'll tell you what, let's get our base here and we'll break out the Sideshow one here in about 2 seconds. And let's see what we do. How does this thing attach to the base? I have no flipping idea. Let's see here. Does it just slide in? Oh, well, that was easy. All right, let me go grab the Sideshow one and we'll do a comparison. Tale of two bikes. We've got them right here. Obviously, we got the Hot Toys from Mandalorian. We got the Sideshow one from Return of the Jedi. And look at all this stuff. Now, I have not obviously attached this yet. I haven't messed with this just yet, so we'll mess with that later. But size-wise, if those of you are curious, here's just a top-down view of them side by side. Should be pretty easy to see. They're pretty much the same size. So if I can get you... You gonna cooperate with me, Aileron? Hey, why are you being difficult? This one's one to be difficult. Why are you not? Why are you being? This is what I'm talking about. This freaking Sideshow one. It just wants to not cooperate with like things. Whatever. Anyways, so there we go. We'll at least have some comparison here. They're pretty much the same size, guys. I don't really see much difference at all. The front ailerons here are a little larger on the Hot Toys one, and that probably is based on the design of the actual show. But that's really about it. I can tell you without a doubt, there is more weathering on the Sideshow bits here versus this guy, which is kind of nice. The paint apps on the body are great, but the paint apps on the metal-ish parts are better on the Sideshow piece than on the Hot Toys piece. So that's an interesting little development there. So I'll give you guys a little close-up of what I'm talking about. So here's the Sideshow one. I want to talk about the weathering on these parts right here. You see right here where it's a nice little dusting and whatnot going on here. And even on the side, if I flip this thing sideways without trying to break it because it's freaking fragile as hell. But you can see right here on these bits right here, this is actually painted very nicely. And even on here, some wash versus the Hot Toy one, which is not as well done. You're going to rotate for me? Don't do that for me. But you can see right here, like it's not as well done. And even on the top here, this is pretty much clean. Like there's no weathering going on whatsoever with that. It's not bad. It's just different. And so you got to decide which, if you like one better than the other. I think the pros of this being more durable outweighs the pros of this one being more detailed or painted or whatever. So there's that. This is what I'm talking about. This, guys, these things right here on the Sideshow one come out. They're terrible. I hate these things. I hate the design of this. Whoever designed this was just falling asleep at the wheel. Literally, this thing doesn't go in. These hoses don't want to connect. I hate this thing. So I'll just be honest with you. I'm glad I own it. And I think there's a reason, a reason to own both. But this one will literally give you a headache. Well, this one, I think you'll just enjoy it. That's one of those things. So there's that. The other thing I was going to show you is this, if I can do this without knocking this over. This guy right here literally doesn't move at all. Okay. And so if you're going to break that off, if you try to do it, whereas the Hot Toys one, you can pretty much maneuver whatever you want. That makes a lot more sense. This one doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, the way they designed it. So I think what we need to do, honestly, I've got one more I was going to show you. Hold on. I told you, I promised you. I've got one more bike. For those who happen to own this is the Power of the Force Hasbro bike, and you can see the significant size difference. This one's definitely out of scale, but this is also, you can pick this up for like 40 or 50 bucks versus 500. So I mean, there's an argument for this one. You can actually put a figure on here and it looks just fine. You can weather it up. I don't have that kind of skills, but you could definitely weather this up. It's not, it's what you would expect. It's actually not bad. Underside is plastic. It's hollow. There's nothing a whole lot going on with this. But for those of you who are curious how the scale size it up, this is significantly larger than this. It's a little bit out of scale, but it's, for 40, 50 bucks, really can't go wrong. So I think what we're going to do, I'll get you out of here. I think what we're going to do is we're going to take the bike and go on a little field trip. So let's do that. All right, guys. So here we are. I came to the park. I thought it'd be a lot of fun to see what this guy looks like outside. Now, normally I don't recommend making videos in the midday sun. As you can see by these shadows, they are really harsh, and this is a white vehicle, which is going to be kind of tough. But here we are anyways. Give you guys some idea what it would look like. So just like the Sideshow bike, it is a little tricky getting the feet to work. However, since this one has some range of motion down there, it is a little better. I would not say the magnets on the feet are super strong, but they are what they are. And there we go. So here we are with the Scout. So this is what it may look like, I guess, if you're outside. Super, super cool. And there it is with all the weathering and whatnot. So it actually looks pretty stinking good. And don't mind all the noise in the background because I'm at a public park. And that's what we do for some of these videos. So I did bury the sand, the base in the sand. So we got that going on. And honestly, I think it looks pretty stinking good. Just like that. Pretty happy with that. So, you know, hope you guys are enjoying this adventure we're on. But there we are. So if you want to get a closer look at some of this stuff going on, there's that detail I was telling you about. The Sideshow one's got a lot more detail and weathering on the actual bike. But this one's no slouch. The weathering's on the white parts, not necessarily the black rotted parts or whatever. So there's though. It did take me a second to get the feet to cooperate. So be mindful of yours. And if we open these flaps up in the back, you can see kind of what's going on in there. It might be kind of dark because of the high contrast in the sun. But there's our bike. There's our Scout. Looking pretty good, I say. And of course, we come on upon a scene where we got a Scout Trooper about to deck the child. And that's kind of crazy, right? So it's actually, as I fall down, it's actually pretty cool looking. I haven't really figured out a good place to hang the satchel on the actual bike. So I just kind of threw it over the control arms there, which I thought, yeah, it worked for what I'm trying to do. And yeah, so there we go. Child versus this guy, right? So we do not condone punching Grogu, but you know, it happened in the show, so there's a thing. So I guess if he was looking at him, he might have a second thoughts. Probably not. Well, there you go, guys. Let's see if I can rotate around this way. This is not the easiest thing to do outside, but we do this for the videos. So there you go. Maybe you want to have yours posed up, something like that. All right, guys, so we had to do it. We had to throw IG-11 on the bike because honestly, that looks pretty sick. I previously put IG-11 on the Sideshow bike and we knew that would work. But this actually works a little better because of the magnets in the pedals and the feet, and it kind of works out pretty good. And the IG's got plenty of articulation, so that's pretty cool. So just to give you an idea of what we got going on, obviously we got IG there with the child. IG's actually shooting behind him because, you know, he can do that kind of thing. So it took me a second to figure out how to hang the satchel around IG and not have the satchel like way too low. But it just so happens, if I go around here, there is a little peg right there that sticks out the back of IG that it literally sits pretty good. I don't know if that's what it's meant to do, but you know, that's what I did. So I think it looks pretty good. And check that out. I mean, come on. You got the child who's all happy to be going on a ride with IG being rescued on the way to the Mando. And there we go. So the bike, let's give you some, just some thoughts on the bike. All right, number one, it's freaking cool. If you're a Mando fan and you have the space and you have the funds, buy it. Okay, that's that. I mean, look at the detail on all this stuff. It's just really well done. It's a well done bike. The base is cool. The base seems like a little easier to deal with than the Sideshow version of it, with the screws and whatnot on the Sideshow one. This one seems to look pretty good. You know, the pedals are still finicky. I mean, you got to get them, like, it takes you a minute to get those, you know, the way you want them to go, but that's okay. The actual Scout Trooper is awesome. So I highly recommend getting a couple of those. So as I mentioned earlier, I've got two bikes, one here, and I've got one on the way whenever the US stuff starts shipping. And I'm probably going to pick up an individual Scout to kind of go along with this. But I think for the time being, IG might be hanging out on this bike. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you want to see more Star Wars content, please subscribe to the channel. As always, click what you like. And we'll see you next time.